What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing fun on this day. Hope you're doing well on this Saturday or Sunday, depending on when you're watching this. This is going to be a video that was highly requested on me doing regarding MyForexFunds. I got a lot of messages, people asking for what's going on, like what they can get away from MyForexFunds, what I think about it, my opinion. We'll get to my opinion in a few minutes. I want to go through the facts first and what we have so far and kind of the information that I've been able to gather online. This is not fully like against MyForexFunds. They could be good, they could be bad. We have allegations. We have things that the CFTC is thinking about MyForexFunds, which we'll go through. And it's going to be based on what I've seen so far, what I've read online. And I don't want to bash them or anything. It's just based on what I've seen and kind of getting the facts and giving that to you so you can make your own mind on it after. So MyForexFunds, as you know, is a big prop firm where they offer these accounts to traders to trade. You can see the fee we had over here. The website now is down, by the way, because they have an order to not allow trading anymore. So you cannot go to their website. You just type in here MyForexFunds. You see it kind of gets you to a page where it just doesn't do anything. So we can go through this. Yesterday, we've learned that without prior notice or discussion, a provincial securities regulator in Canada and a commodities regulator in the United States, CFTC, issued orders preventing us from trading securities or accessing funds in our bank account. Until these freezes orders are lifted or modified, our business is effectively and at least temporarily frozen as well. So they don't do any business yet. We'll be reaching out to the regulators and discuss the concern. And the first court date is around September 11 in the US. And they're going to have another hearing in Canada later on in that week, I believe. We hope to have this matter resolved as soon as possible, and we'll update this message as events occur. So the website is pretty much down. Withdrawals are, of course, down as well. Some people messaged me. They had an account with them. They cannot withdraw their money. They have withdrawals in process. They cannot do it. So a lot there that we have to unpack. Yeah, I want to go through, someone sent me this article earlier today, which kind of talks about the prop firm world getting more tight and having more rules. As you know, there's like big difference between brokers and prop firms. Prop firms are able to kind of invest capital into traders. They're able to like deal, and they don't really need a big license. They are able to operate without the license from the FINRA under the SEC rule. Brokers, on the other hand, they receive capital from other people, from investors, and that requires a lot tougher rules. Now they talk about maybe making these rules more tight in the United States regarding prop firm, and I'll put the link below if you want to check it out. I won't go to this too much because it's not so in line with what we talked about so far, but it kind of makes it where you see they want to get tougher on the prop firm aspect, and especially if the prop firms are dealing like brokers, which I'm not saying is the case here necessarily, but if the prop firms are going beyond the line of the prop firm, that could be causing a big issue. We will go through this article here, which is what I found to be the most up-to-date and the most clear about why there's a big issue with MyForexFunds from the CFTC directly, the Commodities Future Trading Commission in the United States. And you kind of see why this is big. Now, I'm not saying these are all true, and these are only allegations. I'm reading you the facts here, which we have from the CFTC. And they could be right, they could be wrong. They'll have to investigate, go more in depth on those things. But this is kind of public, so you can read through this. I'll put a link below if you want to check it out after. And you can kind of go and see what's happening here overall. So let's go through this a little bit quickly. So let's try to maybe skim through this a little bit. Okay, this is September 1st. This is yesterday for me, Friday. So they say they filed a complaint here against this person over here and these companies, which are both in the US and Canada. Traders Global Group Incorporated, doing business as you all know, MyForexFunds. So this is the thing over here. These are the charges. So the complaint charges them with fraudulently soliciting customer to trade leverage, margin, or finance retail forex exchange, retail forex, and leverage retail commodities transactions. Now, this is, of course, something that is big, right? So basically what they've done is on August 29th, the U.S. District Court, Judge Robert B. Krugler, signed a restraining order freezing the defendant assets, requiring the defendant to submit their books and records for the examination by the CFTC. So you can see here they're not able to do anything for now. They have to submit their things, their files, their books, and there will be an investigation coming up where they have to go through these books and, of course, kind of figure out what's going on here. Here we are now in this continuing litigation. The CFTC seeks restitution of defrauded investors, disgorgement of ill-gotten gains, civil monetary penalties, permanent trading and registration ban, and a permanent injunction against further violations of the Commodity Exchange Act, CEA. So pretty big. Of course, they make this scary, and there's a lot of stuff there. We'll kind of go through the background and why this is happening. So they say here, anyone offering or entering into leverage forex contract without registration or entering into leverage retail commodities contract of exchange is acting in clear violation of the law. Now, this means like if you act as a broker and you don't have a broker's license, of course, you're going against the law, right? This is what I get from it. Now, you'll see what kind of goes out with the case background here. According to complaint, the defendant doing business as MyForexFund supposedly offered retail customers the opportunity to become professional investors by using Traders Global money to trade against third-party liquidity providers and share in any trading profit. They assure customer that your success is our business. You see this online. We make money when you do. But in reality, Traders Global, not a third-party liquidity provider, is a counterparty to substantially all customers trade. What this means is that they claim they have a different provider where they have like a broker to take their trades, but they would, according to this, of course, these are allegations, not real fact necessarily, they would be kind of their own liquidity providers. They would be like placing the trades within their own firm and not on the overall market. This complaint also alleges that Traders Global actively minimizes the likelihood that customers trade profitably by using Protect to terminate customers' account. We've seen this on different platforms where they will actually do things against the customer where it's actually tougher to get funded. Misleadingly assessing commissions that reduce the customer's account equity. That'll be your commissions are really bad and they kind of screw up the whole trading. This one's pretty big. Secretly using specialized software to cause customers' order to be executed at worse prices than appear to the customers at the time the order was sent. I mean, that's like, it doesn't get as bad as this, right? This is pretty crazy. Well, you have softwares that actually make the trades worse, have the entry price worse than the price is in the market. I mean, this just gets bad because then your trades are all screwed up because of the broker or the platform you have, which is not even a registered broker. It's pretty much like a shop that does everything for you. It doesn't make any sense. And handicapping the extremely small number of successful customers to decrease customer profit and increase customer losses. So what they say is they would allegedly have manipulated the platform kind of scheme where they have a likelihood of failing because they kind of make the customer's trading condition worse. As the complaint noted, the Traders Global pitch has been successful and more than 135,000 customers have been signed up for the trading program since November of 2021, which is it's quite a big number. Like, this is really high. I know they were one of the big platforms people look up to because of the cheap prices. The sign-up fees were pretty low compared to other platforms. They had decently good conditions, or they seem to. Paying at least $310 million in fees, which is nothing. It's pretty high. The complaint alleges Scamzy, which is the owner of the company Traders Global, used proceeds from the fraud to purchase luxury homes and automobiles and make tens of millions of dollars of transfers in his personal accounts. Now, this might seem really bad, but I don't see anything wrong with this. If the money was made in a good manner and a honest manner, and if the conditions were good and if the license were right and everything of the sort, and the liquidity provider thing is actually not true, then I see nothing wrong with this. It's normal if you make a lot of money to spend money on different things. Have a luxury house, have automobiles, you pay yourself, of course. That's totally acceptable to me. If this is done in a manner where it's actually not good for the trader, or if it's like they needed the license but didn't get the license, that's a whole different issue, right? That depends. So I would say there's nothing wrong with it directly, but if it's in line with other things that are not made according to regulations in the law, then that's of course a big problem there. Now, this is why they kind of limited the actions of MyForexFunds and what things they could do from now on. So on August 29, the Ontario Securities Commission issued a temporary... Now, this is why they limited the actions of MyForexFund and why they freeze all the funds and stuff. In a separate action on August 29, the Ontario Securities Commission issued a temporary cease trade order that includes a prohibition against all trading in any securities by Traders Global Group Incorporated and Murtuza Kamzi. The CFTC appreciate the assistance of the Ontario Securities Commission. So what they say is basically they kind of block all their funds, they block the trading from this entity, and they kind of make it in a way where they cannot do anything yet with the funds. Now, I have questions and I have doubts. Is it like a common thing to do, or is it based on you do this only like in the worst case scenario? I used to think that you have to go to court first to kind of have this kind of limitation put into your company. Or maybe it could be something where it's really bad, so they have to limit it now. I'm not sure about this. Again, this is my own opinion on this. But it seems like they want to restrict the trading directly and make sure they don't do anything else in the meantime before they go to court in a couple of days. So that's interesting. Okay, then you get some background here about the CFTC and kind of what they do and how they prevent fraud. If you want to read this through, you can read this through. Again, link will be below. But reading this, I have a lot of questions that are unanswered. Of course, there's a lot of allegations and things that look scary. Is it all true? It could be. Is it not all true? It definitely could be also. And we have to kind of see in the next few days and next few weeks. The court case will start on September 11th, or I believe somewhere during that week. So we can definitely keep an eye on this. In the meantime, MyForexFund issued a statement on Twitter. This is pretty much all we've got from a word on their part, and it's important to notice. Yesterday, we learned that without prior notice or discussion, a professional securities regulator in Canada and the commodities regulator of the United States issued orders preventing us from trading securities and accessing our funds in the bank account. Same thing as you've seen in the website. Basically, you've got the word here from the founder, and you can go through this at your own discretion if you want to kind of get their thoughts on this. Of course, the replies are, and you can go through this at your own time if you want to kind of see the message that they have to offer here. But in the meantime, nothing we know so far. Now, I do want to take a few minutes because people ask me a lot about what I think of this. Is it going to affect all prop firms? Will they kind of block prop firms for people in Ontario? Is it going to be a big issue for the prop firm world? I think, of course, it will kind of lead, and we cannot really predict anything here. But I think that there's a lot of it where it comes down to if you do things by the rules and if you actually follow and do things correctly with the law in mind, I think you have no issue. I think things are fine. If you actually benefit the traders, you don't come out with false claims you cannot back up, or you actually kind of don't act like a broker when you don't have a license for being a broker, then I think there's no issues there. I think they'll be having tougher rules, which of course will benefit traders more and more because these prop firms have been a bit wild out there these past few months, especially with all the prop firms coming up and all the ones that are opening and closing right now. So we'll have to see. What do you think of this case? Curious to hear your thoughts below. Of course, you're free to express your own opinion, and I've expressed my own opinion. Went to the allegations that they have on MyForexFund, but I want to hear your thoughts below. So let me know what you think, and I'll catch you back here in the next video. But it's a whole case to follow next few months. All right, ciao.